Good morning and, well, good evening to some of you, but welcome to a special DoMoreLife live stream today. It's Thursday here in Thailand, June 3rd, and today is all about travel and tourism news for Thailand and Southeast Asia. I want to bring you guys up to speed on what's going on. Hello, Tim, Lyle, and Griffin. Good to see you guys this morning. Filthos is in here. Robert's in here. Autumn is in here. Bob's in here. And I'm thrilled to see everyone. Hey, Jose, good morning to you. This is going to be sure you guys hit the thumbs up button for me if you don't mind. For some reason, my phone just decided to start dropping a whole bunch of messages right then. I apologize for that. What's up, Travel TV? Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while. So glad you're here in the chat with us. I want to read the description for today. There's Mr. Robert. And read the description and we'll get on with it. Okay. So today's video discusses travel and tourism news in Southeast Asia. This news update is being made on June 3rd, 2021. That's here in Thailand. While this video will focus on Thailand tourism, we also discuss travel, tourism, closures, reopenings, quarantines, vaccine rollouts, and flight routes and prices for Southeast Asia. Many countries are looking to bring back foreign tourists as soon as possible to revitalize their economies. Thailand and Southeast Asia has been decimated by the global virus. This video is a live open discussion of the impact on the countries of Southeast Asia, specifically Thailand, and the future plans to reopen the region for mass tourism. So I have a lot of updates for you guys and a lot of news, and I encourage you guys to ask a lot of questions. Want to make this a lively, productive live stream, and I know we can definitely do that. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into some of the news that I saw. It's only been a couple days since we did the last live stream, but I kind of want to bring you guys up to date on some of the stuff that's going on. Right now, schools in Bangkok or schools in Thailand are scheduled to open on June the 14th. Of course, that's subject to change. There's a lot of uncertainty for me personally around the job. I'm just being honest with you guys, being transparent. I know a lot of you guys want me to keep you up to date on my life, and there's a lot of uncertainty. I'll know more next week. I'll keep you guys posted to the best of my ability. So what we want to talk about is I'm going to start from 2 days ago and just talk about the most of this is going to be from the Tiger, but there are going to be some other things from the Pattaya News, possibly the Pattaya Mail. Robert has just dropped a PayPal link in the description, and by all means, I normally don't say anything else about it other than that. I'm going to pin it to the top of the page, but by all means, if you feel like contributing to the channel, to the content, to the little bit of research I have to put in here, and hopefully when everything opens back up, I'll be able to travel again and get you guys some great videos. So if you have the ability to contribute, it would be greatly appreciated. I did hear from Jim, by the way. He is doing better. He's out of the woods for now, so just keep him in your thoughts, prayers, whatever, good spirits, whatever you do. But he is doing better, and I do not know if he'll be on this live stream today, but we wish him all the best. Ross says schools in Rayong are doing distance learning right now for both middle and high school. Many schools are. And I think that's probably the direction we're headed. But I just don't know for sure yet. Okay, so Southeast Asia, the new C19 epicenter. And I'm just going to read directly from the article. You guys can comment as wished. This will probably be a long live stream because there's a whole bunch of news and a whole bunch of things I want to throw at you guys. So you can throw back at me. We can talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. Like I said, if you feel like contributing, that would be super awesome for the channel right now. This time of uncertainty here, for those of us who work and live in Thailand, it's different if you don't work here. If you're retired here and you have a pension, that kind of thing, you're probably not worried about anything. But for those of us who work to survive, it's a little bit difficult at the moment anyway. So that being said, can you guys hear me okay? Is my volume okay? Everybody can hear me? I don't see my little microphone thing ticking at the bottom. Just type a 1 if you can hear me, just so I know that everybody knows what's going on. I assume so because Ross is talking about schools right after I talked about schools. We have our first PayPal of the day from Mr. Frank. Frank, thank you very much. New York, Frank. Okay, good. Everybody can hear me. $10 from New York, Frank. Thank you very much, Mr. Frank. I appreciate that so much. Thank you very, 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 very much. And I just got a very important email, so you guys just bear with me for 1 second. And okay, that email that was not what I thought it was going to be. So we will, let me pull up whatever this image. Oh, I know what that is. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's get started on some news for sure. Philtho says, has Jeremy started talking yet? That's funny. Hey, Martin, from Long Island, New York. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated. Glad you're here. And let me go back to where I was at. So some Western countries appear to have turned the tide against the virus. China and India have also administered between 640 million and 208 million doses, respectively. The Middle East is showing promise in jabbing its citizens, but health experts predict some countries could be months or even weeks from being able to come out on the other side of the current quote-unquote waves. The attention now is on Southeast Asia. As infections jump, a new round of restrictions has come into play. Electronic companies have had to lock down factories, construction sites, and have been ravaged by new cases. Jab programs are helter-skelter. Japan, on the cusp of the Olympic Games, has divided public consensus on holding the Games in light of their current illness struggles. Malaysia is seeing new cases on par with India. Contextually, India has more than 1 billion people. Thailand has seen the people who are no longer with us, that toll jump from 10 times from what it was 2 months prior. Vietnam is testing all of Ho Chi Minh City out of fears that possible variants are transversing the globe. Despite a positive outlook for the West, global cooperation is needed more than ever. The world's economy is not localized to one nation or one country. It's a world economy. Likewise, for the illness, it's not one country's problem, it's the world's problem. There's a doctor who, name I can't pronounce, Dean of the Brown University School of Public Health, warned last month. He's the one that said this. A year from now, we'll be in really much better shape than we are now, but there will be other countries that won't be. The quicker we get the rest of the world protected, the more secure our protection will be. So that is the current state of where the Southeast Asian, where it stands. Lots of stuff I want to read here. Let's see here. 324 schools open in Lampang, which is kind of surprising. For those of you that don't know, Malaysia, which is a Southeast Asian country, has imposed a strict lockdown on its country. The region avoided the first wave thanks largely to decisive action, closing borders, issuing curbs. However, Southeast Asia has become the new epicenter for the illness, according to this article in The Tiger, as their efforts to curb outbreaks have been impeded by recent clusters and glacial slow vaccine rollouts. And I want to point that out because that's important. The rollouts here, I can only speak for Thailand in general because that's where I am. I'm located in Bangkok, in case anybody's watching this on replay or does not know. Hello, Mr. Charles White. Good to see you today. The rollout is the vast majority of the problem. Yeah, thank you, Frank. Everybody take time to make sure you hit the thumbs up button. And they say they have it under control. They say that the jabs are coming. And at this point, really all we can do is wait and see if everything arrives on time. I'm hoping that it does, but it's just it's a hurry up and wait situation right now. Malaysia has been hit particularly hard. The region has had almost 3,000 people who are no longer with us and over 500,000 infections with a population of 32 million. Religious gatherings have added fuel to the fire that already had heat and oxygen. The country is now in what officials call a total LD. Only essential businesses are allowed to stay open, such as supermarkets and medical clinics. Schools are mostly closed. Traveling throughout the country has been reduced to a distant memory since it was banned months ago. Despite mounting calls for tougher action, the new LD will intensify the struggle for many businesses that were already barely getting by. The same is true here in Thailand. Good morning, Mr. Golden. Despite mounting calls for tougher action, the new LD will intensify the struggle for many businesses that were barely getting by. 42-year-old Lillian Chua, who owns a hair salon, calls the effects of the illness on small businesses like her own devastating. Under 6% of Malaysia's population has received the initial dose of the jab. Rapi, what's up? There seems to be a surplus of CCP vaccine in Phuket. People don't want that stuff. Yeah, we'll try to. I'm coming to Phuket in just a minute. In fact, I have several articles on Phuket. So that's kind of what's up in Malaysia. This was an article that was, I think, pretty not provocative. This is an article that was very informative, I thought. Phuket foreigners can register for jab leftovers, which I can't help but just kind of laugh at it a little bit. It says starting tomorrow, so it should be today. Foreigners residing in Phuket can register for a jab. On Thursday and Friday, they can receive a jab from the surplus of doses still available. To register for the jab, foreigners are instructed to use the Phuket Must Win web portal. So that sounds like that's going to be the web portal for Phuket. Mr. Pracha, last name starts with an A, who is the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society and involved with the program, had this to say. The registration for foreigners staying in Phuket will open at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and about 30,000 foreigners registered in Phuket will be provided the Sino jab on June 3rd and 4th. At this stage, 279,943 people have received their first jab, while 98,795 have been fully jabbed. with 2 injections. If we compare the numbers with our goal to jab 466,587 people in Phuket, about 59.99% have received their first jab, and 21.17 have been fully inoculated. We also have about 17% of the total number of people registered to receive a jab who are still waiting to receive their first injection. He added that if all goes according to plan, Phuket will see about 80% of the residents jabbed by July 1st. And July 1st is a very, 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 very big, important date for Thailand and for Phuket as well. Let me catch a couple comments and we will get back to the news here. Asia Unscripted, good to see you, my friend. Looking forward to talking to you soon. Charles White says, seems like everyone that did well with the first wave by doing decisive LDs really just delayed getting hit hard until later. Too bad they didn't get decisive jabs earlier to block the follow-ups. I cannot agree with that statement more. Today there's 3,886 new cases and 39 people who are no longer with us. That is here in Thailand. That was the alarm that just went off on my phone. Now, Charles, you have made the point of all points. Decisive action earlier with the jabs would have been what I feel like the answer to the problem that we're having right now. So that's not to criticize anybody. As I've said many times in many videos, these people, most of the people that are working on this, including governments from all countries, not just Thailand, but all the Southeast Asian countries, we're not prepared for something like this, and are learning by trial and error. So we give them a break. Travel TV says, I got jabbed. Good for you, bud. I'm glad to hear that. Live my ass off says, nope, just got off the phone with Vietjet. No queue, no vax needed for entry into Krabi and Surat Thani. That is interesting. Use the app and self-queue if you are staying in Surat more than 14 days. Otherwise, just monitor. Very good information, Mike. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. That's good information. Also good news. Joshua says, sounds like everything is closed in Phuket. Is it even worth coming to Phuket in July? That's one of the $1 million questions right there, Joshua. We don't know what businesses are going to be open when foreign tourists and international tourism reopens to Thailand and specifically Phuket. You can come to Bangkok or whatever, but if you come to it's my understanding right now, other than what Mike just said, it's my understanding if you come anywhere in Thailand that you're going to have a 14-day queue, no matter if you've had one jab, 2 jabs, or no jabs. And I'm glad Mike put that up there because that may be a little bit different for Krabi and Surat Thani, which is good. Those are definitely hot spots. Robert's put the link up to become a channel member. If you would like additional content and a bunch of extras, once a month, members only live stream, I encourage you to sign up to become a channel member. You can do that by clicking that link. It's only $2.99 a month, and in my opinion, it's a great value for what you get. Joshua says, I'm considering canceling my flight for July 9th and rescheduling. What would you recommend for July? I want to see people get here as soon as possible because I want to see the tourism industry have a reason to revive itself. But at the same time, tourists don't, they're hesitant to come because they don't know if there are going to be businesses open and things to do when they get here. So, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. It all depends on the chance you're willing to take, Joshua. That's my ultimate conclusion. I can't really make a recommendation on that because for all I know, that July 1st date could be pushed back. We have seen dates pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. We've seen the emergency decree extended now for the 12th time. Just got to notice that jabs for foreigners kick off next week. That's supposed to be June the 7th. That should be countrywide, I would imagine. Looks like Bangkok is going to be getting a hefty amount of those jabs to help because Bangkok is one of the places that has some of the higher rates of infection right now. Hey Jose says that Joshua, I'm sure they'll open for business for the sandbox would be moot if they didn't by then. You have a good point, hey Jose, but the problem is a lot of the businesses are closed, like closed. There's nobody to buy them right now, and there's nobody to open them. They don't have any capital. They don't have any money. They ran out. This third wave just absolutely decimated it. And as unfortunate as it may be, that may be the case. Pattaya and other places are not looking to open fully until October 1. I don't know what that means exactly for the overall tourism sector here in Thailand, but I do know that there are some challenges ahead for sure. And we're going to get to Vietnam and maybe some information on the Philippines and any other surrounding country information I have. We're going to get to all that in just a little bit. Law says, you guys that are not members should have seen the members only announcement for this live stream. Yeah, I put a little extra photo up there for that one, didn't I? Charles said, I would suspect that information at live, they are, I think he's talking to Mike. They are specific about flights must be direct for Phuket, and I'm not certain anyone else is on that sandbox list. Pattaya is the nearest sandbox listed. So we're going to talk about flights in just a little bit and pricing of those flights, but mostly we're going to focus on the routing of those flights and where you're going to have to fly into to get to Phuket. Because if you want to come to Thailand starting July 1st, they swear up and down it's going to be July 1st, so I'm going to say July 1st until I hear otherwise. If you want to come on July the 1st or anytime before any of the other sandbox models open, you're going to have to fly directly to Phuket. And airlines are currently adjusting their routes so that you can fly from certain destinations to Phuket directly. And, that's kind of where we are with that. Now, moving on. Some good news here. The WHO approves the Sino for emergency use. That jab from Chinese firm, the one we all know, has been approved for emergency use, making it the second Chinese jab to be approved by the World Health Organization. The approval paves the way for more widespread global distribution, particularly as part of the COVAX scheme. The scheme aims to provide poorer countries with equal access to the jabs, but up to now, only AZ and Pfizer doses could be distributed. According to a Bangkok Post report, the WHO boss Tedros Adhanom, and then he's got another name, I think, confirmed the approval of the Sino at a press conference, adding that the jab has passed all safety and efficacy checks. It goes on to quote what he said, gave his endorsement. So, they're basically just saying that that it's met all the standards. Other jabs previously approved for emergency use by the WHO include the Pfizer, the Mod, J&J, and the AZ. Jab being manufactured in India, South Korea, and the EU. So the WHO says specifically the Center's approval means countries around the world, particularly those without their own system of regulatory approval, can now feel confident in approving and importing the jabs. So I guess that's a good sign as well. Travel TV says one way ticket to Phuket, or one way ticket to wherever you're going, right? So the health minister here in Thailand, hey Solo Road, good to see you, man. Another channel member, thumbs up from Kentucky. Thank you very much. I appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you. The health minister confident that the AZ doses will arrive on time. Thailand's public health minister says the delivery of 6 million doses of the AZ jab is on schedule. He says the doses are expected to arrive in batches throughout the month of June, and he is confident the first lot will be here by June 7th, when the national rollout begins. Quote, I'm confident the first lot will be put out on June 7th. He says the number of doses in each batch is decided through negotiation between the Department of Disease Control and the manufacturer. Upon arrival, the jabs will need to undergo quality checks before doses can be distributed. The health minister says the question of how many doses will go to each province is a decision for the DDC, or the Department of Disease Control. Meanwhile, the PM has also insisted there will be no shortage of jabs in the kingdom, reiterating that orders will arrive on time. He says the government is also ordering supplies of the Pfizer jab, which it plans to use in the younger population between ages 12 and 18. According to Anutin, that's the public health minister guy, talks are also ongoing with J&J, whose single-dose jab has already been approved by Thailand's Food and Drug Administration. The government plans to order around 5 million doses, which its hope will arrive the last quarter of 2021. The government says it expects 70% of the population to have received the first dose by the end of September, in accordance with the plan outlined by the CCSA. So, the news looks promising, but it's looked promising for a while. There's been some setbacks, and there's been some good things. Bad news for the Philippines. If you are in the Philippines or planning to go to the Philippines confirms delay in imports of the AZ doses from Thailand. The Philippines has announced that the arrival of a first batch of AZ jabs being imported from Thailand has been delayed. The delivery of the jabs manufactured in Thailand and ordered by the Philippines has now been pushed back by several weeks. According to a Bangkok Post report, the development gives rise to questions about Thailand's distribution plans for Southeast Asia, which hinges on 200 million AZ doses being manufactured by Siam Bioscience. The company, which is owned by the Crown Property Bureau, is embarking on jab manufacture for the first time. A presidential advisor to the Philippines with responsibility for coordinating jab procurement between the government and private sector says he's been advised that the delivery of the first batch containing 1.3 million doses is being pushed back from the third week in June to the middle of July. And also said, someone else also said the number of doses is being reduced to 1.17 million. The Bangkok Post reports that neither Siam Bioscience nor AZ have replied to questions about production at the Thai manufacturing site. This other guy says he's in regular touch with AZ, who advised him of the delay. He adds that the second lot of 1.3 million doses is also being reduced to 1.17 million, and delivery of that batch has been postponed from July to August. Quote, it's a new plant they are running. That is how it is when you start a new plant. And it goes on to talk about investing orders in other places. So looks like we're getting last will be Davos City. That's funny, Robert. All right, let's talk about flights for a second. Let's talk about how you're going to get to Phuket. KLM to introduce Amsterdam to Phuket flights from October. So KLM has announced an expansion to its network from this coming winter, including flights from Amsterdam to Phuket. With a touchdown in Kuala Lumpur, the southern Thai island is one of 6 new destinations being introduced, the others being Mombasa in Kenya, Orlando in the U.S., Cancun in Mexico, Bridgetown in Barbados, and the Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago. According to a TTR weekly report, Phuket is the only Asian leisure destination planned for the October launch. Flights from Amsterdam to Phuket will operate Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, with a stop in Kuala Lumpur in both directions. In a statement confirming the provisional winter schedule from October 31 to March 26 next year, KLM says it will expand its network where recovery is quickest in order to provide passengers with as broad a selection of holiday destinations as possible. Quote, with the general situation and outlook now improving, network expansion is back on the agenda. We have chosen destinations where recovery will be quickest. The 6 new destinations fit the bill. So, Phuket is gearing up for launch of its sandbox model, with the island reopening and waiving mandatory queue for jab foreign tourists from July 1st, while only a soft opening is expected initially. Officials hope that by October the program will be well established and that most Phuket residents will be fully inoculated. In its early stages, the program will only apply to visitors from low to medium risk countries, but is likely to expand to all countries by October. So that's some information for some flights that you guys may be interested in, and I have more information on that as well coming up here. So here's what you need to know if you're coming to Thailand. Solar Road said, this makes my head spin. I'll wait until Christmas. You know, I can't really say that I blame you, Solar Road. Excuse me, guys, I'm trying to get hydrated here. Charles says, damn, just check flights to Phuket for July 1 from Houston. $1,100 round trip. Yep, it's going to be the flights are probably going to be more expensive. I watched videos yesterday talking about tourism being more expensive here in Thailand. In the country, once you get here, I would think that there's going to be a lot of deals on hotels, on other places. Hey, Richard, good to see you, man. I would think that the cost of tourism in Thailand would either be the same or go down as it has been in the past. That's my personal opinion. I do have to say that getting here is going to be more expensive. The flights and the methods that most people take to get here are very likely to go up. Johnny says there may be hotel deals, but there are no events or anything much seeing. That may necessarily not be true. We don't know what the reopening schedule looks like for those businesses. There may be, after you do your 7 days on Phuket, you should be able to go to, you should be able to travel the country freely, and you can go see or do whatever you want to, as long as places are open. Charles says almost twice what I paid for my last 2 Bangkok flights round trip. Yep, because you're going to have to fly directly to Phuket. That's one reason the prices are so expensive. So, Thailand Civil Aviation Authority details international rules. This is an important section, guys, by the way. If you want to really listen to something, you might want to hear this if you're planning to come to Thailand. The Civil Aviation Authority of Thailand has announced some specific flight rules on the procedure for international travelers flying into Phuket after July 1. This comes just after the Tourism Authority of Thailand laid out more general rules for travel within Thailand for international tourists. Tourism officials from the TAT and the island have been steadfastly determined to reopen under its tourism sandbox plan. Despite the current surge in cases and daily new cases, it's still appearing in Phuket. The CCSA will be evaluating Phuket's readiness and reporting to the cabinet for a meeting Friday to approve or deny the July 1st reopening. So that would be tomorrow here. The flight rules for passengers arriving into Phuket from abroad will require all arrivals to be fully inoculated, receiving 2 jabs of those that require it. Notably, an exception is made for AZ, only requiring a traveler to have received the first 2 jabs for just that brand. I'm not exactly sure what that paragraph seemed to contradict itself a little bit. Filtho says, check from Philly for September about $1,000, but seems like only American flying to, I guess that's Hong Kong, and only Qatar on the return. Also about 60 total hours in the air. Yeah, because you're going to have to fly to most likely Middle East destinations in order to get your flight or to Phuket. Travel TV says, I got $800 one way from Jacksonville, Florida on July 22nd. Good for you, man. I'm glad you're coming back. That's awesome. Johnny says, these flight prices are too much for me. Yikes, I agree. They're high, very, very high. Charles says, as soon as the flights are running, everyone will pop open. I agree. Thai businesses are quick to reopen. That's also true. The infrastructure is still there and workers will arrive in droves. Look at the speed of the tsunami recovery. That's a very good point. HKT is Phuket. I knew that. I was just making sure you were paying attention, Philthos. Stuck in Florida, my man, in the house. Good to see you. Glad you're dropping by. I hadn't seen you other than just to say hey and a few live streams. So thanks for coming by, bud. Appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. So continuing on, another exception for you got to get the COE first. You got to get the certificate of entry, and to the best of my knowledge, the only way you can get that, correct me if I'm wrong, is by going to your local Thai embassy. That's what I've been told. Another exception for requiring the immunity that the jab provides is that of natural immunity. So people with documentation that they have fully recovered from a C-19 infection within the previous 90 days before their arrival will also be allowed to enter. New flight rules will require all passengers to have paperwork confirming that they have been tested within the last 7 days and have returned a negative result. Any travelers attempting to board a plane without documents meeting these flight rules, proof of a negative test within a week, and either 1 AZ shot, full inoculation, or full recovery from the illness within the past 3 months will be denied boarding by the airlines and not allowed to travel. That's very important. Hey, Prep for it. Good to see you, man. The exception to these new tight restrictions implemented to allow international travel to begin to return to Thailand is for children. Kids under 5 years old will have an exemption from the flight rules and will be allowed to travel with parents who are properly jabbed or meet the other qualifications. Meetings have been taking place to judge Phuket's readiness for the reopening before the CCSA delivers its report to the cabinet, and also to take into account public opinion on reopening. Officials are meeting with hotels, transportation, restaurants, and other businesses catering to tourism, and also other local businesses operators to discuss opinions on reopening on July 1st. So some very interesting information there for you guys. I think I talked about the KLM, but I did not talk about the Qatar. So here's another way. Hey, MetTech, good to see you, bud. Qatar Airways will fly 4 times weekly to Phuket starting July 1st. Qatar, this is coming from the Tiger as well. Qatar Airways is going all in on Phuket sandbox plan to reopen the tourist island to international travels on July 1st. The airline has confirmed that they will run 4 flight times per week between the Qatari capital city of Doha and Phuket. I hope I said that right. This new route is in addition to the airline's current 12 flights a week to Bangkok. The flights will be run using a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, a large plane capable of carrying a total of 254 passengers to Phuket, 232 in economy and 22 in business. The airline said in a press release yesterday that they believe the Bangkok and Phuket routes will connect the Middle East, Europe, and United States to Thailand. I would agree. The flights will leave Doha at 2:55 a.m. on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So here's a Sunday flight for you guys. Arriving in the afternoon at Phuket International Airport at 1:30 p.m. Return flights will leave Phuket 13 hours later at 2:30 a.m. The early mornings of Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. So that's a little information from you from Qatar. Hey, Greg. Greg says hit the thumbs up. Not looking warm and fuzzy enough yet. Yeah, I'm just that I'm personally in an area of real uncertainty over here right now. Don't know what's going to happen with jobs, and I'm a little. You could say I'm a little bit in a state of depression at the moment because I just because of the uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll know more next week for sure. I will share that information with you when I get it. But for right now, it's uncertainty. It's job uncertainty. It's financial uncertainty. It's just uncertainty, and you try not to worry about it because there's really nothing you can do. But at the same time, you're a human being, so you can't really avoid all the stuff that comes with it. Asia Unscripted says, "Why do they call it sandbox?" Because you're in a. I get the theory is because you're in a box, right? Like you can't leave Phuket that box for 7 days, and you got to have a negative test before you go. It's a good question though. Asia Unscripted. Travel TV says stuck. It's Qatar airline with a 10-hour layover. It's 1,500 both ways. Wow. Charles White says the other qualification is a pipe dream. No one will plan a trip within 90 days after catching the sea. That's true. Well, mostly true. What happens after 90 days? Vulnerable again? Doesn't sound right. I agree. I would assume they would require you to get a jab or something like that. And Stuck in Florida says, Asia Unscripted, I guess it's better than calling it a holding cell. Yeah, I agree. Matt Tech says, I'm truly sorry, Jeremy. Thank you, Matt Tech. I appreciate that. It's definitely, you can probably look at me and tell I'm pretty stressed out about the whole situation. A lot of decisions to be made this month, and I I don't know what I'm going to do. Worst case scenario, just for everybody that's listening, worst case scenario, I end up back in America for 3 to 4 months, and then I'll be back. I have long-term plans here in Thailand. I also want to see some other Southeast Asian countries too. Potentially, if I can ever get in touch with my good buddy in Vietnam who's in the live stream right now. I'm not going to call any names. um, and talk to him about teaching in Vietnam. I could possibly go there. Um, that would be fun, in my opinion. We're going to get to some news on Vietnam in just a minute. And I Ross, I read your comment about nothing wrong with uncertainty, just have many plans. I have 1, 2, 3 plans. I have 3 plans. And like I said, worst case scenario, I end up back in America, which really is not to go back and stay with my father during his retired golden years for a few months and try to make some cash and just wait on things to evolve over here in Thailand. That's really not go over there, get jabbed and get everything squared away with that. That's It's not really a bad plan. And I would be able to bring some travel videos because they're traveling. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but still at the same time, the uncertainty to me it doesn't feel good. It never does. And we'll see what happens. I don't want anybody feeling sorry for me. I just, if you have any suggestions, I'm open, definitely open to that. If you know anybody anywhere that's looking to hire people, whether it be in education or outside of education in Thailand, in any kind of in any field, by all means, feel free to forward me some information on that. That would be good as a backup, just in case something happens to my current job. If nothing happens to my current job, then nothing happens. Everything will be fine. But I do have to plan for contingencies, and that's my contingency. Travel TV says, you know how to get back to Thailand. You legalize it. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, 100%. I know what you're talking about, and you're right. Solo Road says the unknown is always scary. It is, but at the same time, if all goes awry, if everything goes sideways, I'm the person that believes that happens for a reason, and it'll lead me to a better place. I've made some major changes in my life recently. I've started doing things that are different, like trying to get healthy to prepare myself for the jabs. Being financially almost a minimalist. Thankfully, I've had my Thai friend staying with me for a while, who has cost me no extra money at all, and has been cooking, and we've been eating very, very cheap. So there are good things going, but the uncertainty of June is kind of eating away at me a little bit. And like I said, after next week, I'll know more. Specifically after Monday, I'll know more. So after Monday, we'll find out if I'm going to be able to keep my job, and if there'll be a lot of answers come Monday, and I'll be able to share that with you guys, and hopefully everything will be okay. And I've taken measures just in case I don't have one. I'm doing things in the background to try to make sure that I have a contingency for that as well. Although it's very hard to do at this point. Again, I don't want you guys feeling sorry for me. I'm not trying to get contributions out of this. I'm just saying that that's where I'm at in my life, so that you guys are aware. Johnny says, as long as you have a job, you live to see another day. I agree. I agree, Johnny. Stuck in Florida says, Robert N. I think JC has it, but no problem. What do I have? Oh, you guys retracted messages. If you're talking about emails, send me an email again, because for some reason I don't know where your email went. I don't have it. Just send me an email and say, hey, this is Stuck in Florida. You don't have to say anything else. But I know you emailed me once, and I would really appreciate it if you email me again, because I need to talk to you offline. And we can do that by email. I don't have to physically speak to you, but you are one person I definitely need to talk to. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. Greg says, you're not alone. A lot of us have some degree of uncertainty with all this. I understand, Greg. I'm humanizing the uncertainty, right? I don't want you guys to think that I live over here scot-free every day and it's just happy-go-lucky. I mean, most of the time it is happy-go-lucky. I live in paradise. I don't have a lot to complain about. My medical needs are taken care of over here, probably far better than they would be in America. I don't really want for anything over here. I make enough money to get by. I'm truly blessed, but it's when the fact of, you might have to give it all up and be homeless for a few months. Not homeless, but if I have to go back to America, it's going to be different. And the thing about it is, people will say, "Oh, we finally got him out of Thailand. He had to go. He couldn't do it." Da, da, da. Now, sometimes you got to take a step back and regroup. Sometimes you just have to regroup. Just because your plans stop moving forward for a minute doesn't mean they stopped. As long as you're still as long as your mind is, and the things that you do are still focused on the primary goal, you're not failing. You're hitting. You can call it failing, but it's just stumbling blocks. And I had a conversation with somebody about that this morning. Charles says, LOL, it's stuck. Sandbox holding cell picture early. Australia prison island. Ross says, sandbox is a term for experimenting. It is also used when programming software. Interesting. MedTech says, Qatar treated Rike like... Qatar is off my possibility list. I did not get to read I did not get to listen to the entirety of that video that Rike put out. I listened to most of it though, and I did hear about you're talking, yeah. Yes, I did. When they were talking about how he had to get paperwork, and it took him months and that kind of thing. Yeah. Greg says, is that job and apartment in Florida still available if needed? To the best of my knowledge, it is. But, that could go away any day too. I'm hoping that it's still there. But if not, what I'll probably do is contact people that live in Florida or wherever in America. Mostly, it'll probably some of you guys. I'll send you my resume, and if you know anybody that's hiring, you can give me a call and let me know. That's if it comes to hey, I'm moving to America, and if that happens, I'll make a big announcement, and everybody will know all that stuff. Johnny says it's okay to go back home and take a break. I agree, Johnny. I agree. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to go back home and take a break. Wrap things up, not to mention seeing my dad for a little while. And hang on, somebody's requesting my email address here, guys. I'll just here. I'll put my email address in the chat, and that way anybody that wants to email me can. This is also the same email address that's in my about section for the channel, so it should be there at the bottom. Stuck says that pretty boy. Yeah, that's the problem with Qatar and Emirates. Always a long layover out of Florida, but only one layover usually. And one layover is not too bad, as long as it's not a long time. Travel TV says, "What about online teaching? I get lots of job offers on that." Yeah, you can do that here. That's not a problem. The problem is you need a visa with a work permit to be able to do that here. That's where the problem lies. So uh, technically in Thailand, you need a sponsored work permit. Okay, so you would need a company to sponsor you. And if you're teaching, like, I don't know, let's say Magic Ears or Dada or whatever, you use their programs to teach online, then that's not a Thai company. They can't sponsor you with a work permit here. So unfortunately, teaching online, is really not legal if you're teaching outside of a Thai-based company. Richard says, "Come back to the United States and get your jab." I thought about it. It's being considered for sure, Richard. Um, Solar Road just sent me an email. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. And I am glad that you are a supporter of the channel as well. Let's see here. Solar Road says, Ross says, "Stuck, all is well. Thanks for asking. We're here staying safe, just waiting for customers to return." Solar Road says, Ross has a resort and a YouTube channel, by the way. Check him out. Solar Road says, "I switched careers last year at 43 years old. I make about half as much money. I'm happier. Also simplified my life." A lot of people are doing that. And they seem to be much happier, Solar Road. So maybe that's what I do. I don't know. Pete says, "Hey, JC." Hello, Pete. Asian Script said, "Going back to the USA isn't a bad thing. Can see family and friends, renew cards, get more equipment at a better price, new clothes, etc." That's a good, fair point. Asian Scripted, very fair point. Charles says, "Good for you. Focus on the positive and be blessed. Happy to hear someone cooking for you too." Yeah, me too, man. It's been a while. Ross says, "I switched careers 3 times in my life. Each time it turned out better." There you go. Jack says, "On a positive note, if you return to the U.S., I will give you a new appreciation. It will give you a new appreciation for." Thank you, Stuck. Appreciate that, bro. Um, it will give you a new appreciation for Asia. Yeah, I imagine it would. I have somewhat of that appreciation now, but I'm sure if I come back to America now in the condition that it's in, it will probably make me extraordinarily grateful to come back. Ross says, "Only thing good about going back to USA, if you can live cheap but work, you can make and save a lot of money quickly." That's true. And that would be my plan. MedTech says, "I've been self-employed for 17 years. Perhaps I could have done better on the salary, but overall it's been good to answer to no one but my customer." And that ultimately is my goal as well. Filtho says, "Regroup. I heard he just went back to the USA to renew his driver's license and buy beef jerky." No. Although beef jerky would be nice, I do have to say. Oh, Solar Road, $2 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. I don't know why I didn't see it. That must be a super sticker. But thank you very much for the contribution, Solar Road. I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. Ross and Rayon says, "MetTech, I'm 54, have only worked full-time for someone for 5 years of my adult life. The rest has always been self-employed." That's impressive, Ross. Jake says, "Trust me, you will find a job in the USA. Nobody wants to go back to work. A lot of jobs." That's what my dad said. Stuck in Florida says, "MetTech, I mostly work for myself or with a partner. I don't follow orders very well." I understand that. Greg, I like your idea. Ross says, "When you work for yourself, you are the captain of your destiny. When you work for someone else, you are a passenger of their destiny." 100% agree with that. And yeah, I 100% agree with that. Asian Script says, "Beef jerky." I know. I would like to have some good beef jerky. That would be pleasant, to say the least. Okay, let's move on to Vietnam. Vietnam. So, well, Pete says you're still young and lots of working years left. You'll make good money in USA if that's what you decide. I I think so. I'm playing it by ear right now. Just playing it by ear, and it's one of those plans. Ross had a good point. The more plans you have, the less uncertainty matters. So we'll see. Um, if the struggles facing Vietnam, this is from the Tiger, with a new outbreak, the country has announced a crackdown on illegal foreign workers. The Ministry of Labor and look, a lot of people were saying that they were kicking expats out of Vietnam, this, that, and the other. You got to read. You got to read the details, guys, for sure. All right, Ross. Have a good day, bud. See ya. Thank you for dropping by. But here's the gist of it. Okay, Richard, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Always good. Do they still have red doors in Vietnam, or were they all painted black? I don't know that one yet. Maybe someone else could answer that question. Let's see. The Ministry of Labor, this is in Vietnam, in ballads and social affairs, has requested tightening on the rule and enforcement of expats working in Vietnam in an official announcement. They urge provincial and municipal officials to get strict on foreign workers and consider deporting those who do not have proper work permits or have not followed all the proper procedures to work legally in Vietnam. A major reason for the tightening is the roller coaster of the outbreaks in Vietnam, which spent most of last year with closed borders but very few infections, but now is battling a new variant and new outbreaks around the country, leading to lockdowns and restrictions. The Ministry of Labor believes that foreigners are a liability when they are coming into Vietnam all around the country illegally to find work. The minister requested that local officials ramp up labor inspections and not be lenient on violations by any organization or person who employs illegal staff or breaks any labor laws of Vietnam. Furthermore, he tasked appropriate agencies to review the status and legitimacy of all foreign staff for business and establishments throughout the country. Aside from the crackdown inside the country, calls for strengthening borders were made to be more strict on managing foreigners entering Vietnam. The minister wants all foreign workers properly registered and to crack down completely on all immigrants working illegally in Vietnam. The announcement called on local authorities and all municipalities to be much more inflexible in issuing any new work permits, following current procedures and regulations strictly. While they are complying with these crackdown instructions, the minister also asked that all businesses and establishments with foreign staff be inspected for compliance with all of the C-19 safety measures. Any businesses found not to meet the safety regulations will be closed. So that's kind of the gist of what I know of what happened in Vietnam. Now, there are people in this chat that could elaborate on that more if they so choose to, but that's up to them. Yeah, thanks again, Richard, for the super chat. I really appreciate that, bud. Robert Mack in Asia says, stuck in Florida, hello, bro. Well, I'm going to say hello to you, Mr. Robert Mack. I appreciate you coming by. Really appreciate you coming by. What else do I want to make on here? There's so much news, and I haven't even gotten to the Pattaya stuff yet. They want another 700 7-Eleven stores to open across Thailand. I'm not going to read into that. I'm just going to let you guys know. So that's a good sign. And then today's update was, as I said at the beginning of the show, in case you weren't here, 3,886 new cases and 39 people who are no longer with us. Now, a very important breaking news article I got here is that I'll just go ahead and say the whole thing. Vaccination of foreigners kicks off next week. That is the title from the article in the Tiger, and I'm going to read from it now. It's the moment many of you have been waiting for. The Thai government says that from Monday, foreigners living in the kingdom who have registered for inoculation will start to receive the jabs. It's been a long road of anxiety, confusion, and chaos to get to this point, and there are probably many who won't believe it until the moment they're told to roll up their sleeve. A person from the disease control department says the jabs of pre-registered foreign diplomats will begin on Monday, the same day the government's much anticipated national rollout begins. And quoting, I may have to paraphrase a few words here, but quoting, currently we have started jabbing diplomats and their families and international organizations such as UN staff, in which they have registered in advance to get a jab from designated hospitals. The Bangkok Post reports that all diplomatic staff, consular representatives, and the employees of international organizations in Thailand must register on this website. They give a link to that. Between June 1st and 6th. Eligible foreigners must register one day before their jab date, with inoculation taking place at Bangkok's Med Park and Vamut hospitals. Vamut was the hospital that I was originally registered at. They shut down that registration, and I guess they're going to open it back up now. It says. Sapan says that other foreigners can be jabbed the same day as Thai citizens, with priority being given to the elderly and people with underlying health conditions. He says everyone must register at the website above, adding that people who booked appointments using the More Prom app will be jabbed with AZ. Bangkok is expected to receive more jab doses than elsewhere in the country due to its population and the fact that it is dealing with an ongoing clusters of infection. There will be almost 1 million doses of AZ and Sino altogether assigned to Bangkok in the first 2 weeks. Around 500,000 doses should be administered. Meanwhile, on the southern island of Phuket, currently gearing up for its much-hyped July 1 reopening, foreigners with work permits are being jabbed today and tomorrow. Too bad it don't work on Phuket, right? Or in Phuket. It's an island, so you say on Phuket, right? I don't know. Prepositions? English teacher? I'm not sure. Meanwhile, on the southern island, I just read that. I read about the surplus earlier, and you guys know what's going on there. Here's an interesting fact about Thailand and their hotels. Thailand, what used to be called the ASQ hotels, consider move to a hybrid model. So hotels currently operating as ASQ facilities are considering moving to a hybrid model as bookings drop ahead of Phuket's reopening. ASQ hotels say reduced demand means they may adopt a model whereby they accept both people who are coming for ASQ and regular guests from the second half of the year. I don't know how I feel about that, but that, one person said from the ASQ-ALQ club, Thailand says bookings have started to drop following confirmation that Phuket sandbox reopening would go ahead from July 1st. Average occupancy in May had already dropped around 10% from April's rate of 45 to 50%. Prince says hardly any hotels have received advance bookings after June 15th as people eye the quarantine-free re-entry to Phuket. Revenue in the second half of this year will likely plunge once the reopening plan moves forward. ASQ operators have to monitor the situation and reevaluate their business models. Hotels hope to be operating a hybrid model during the last quarter of the year, with queue and non-queue operations split between buildings or floors. Probably be best to split them between buildings, I would think. The focus will be on the other services such as banqueting and conferences as opposed to relying on room bookings. According to the Bangkok Post report, around 5 to 10% of ASQ hotels are already running a hybrid operation, but how successful it is will depend on the reaction from local tourists and guests. The ASQ-ALQ Club is also calling on the government to jab 12,000 hotel employees at 147 ASQ properties in the central province of Bangkok, Samut Prakan, Nonthaburi, and Pattaya. And there's a little more information down here. So that's the latest from the Tiger anyway. Let's see if we can get some comments here. Travel TV says, I got a job offer for Vietnam. They said 22-day queue with 7-day self-queue, and I was asked to pay for it. Woo, that's expensive. Pepe looks like he got froze up there. Robert saying hello to Robert Mack in Asia. Let's see what's going on elsewhere today. We have the Pattaya News. The Pattaya News. I haven't even read through here. Eastern Spa and Wellness Association say over 80% of Pattaya massage shops are permanently closed. Remaining shops need clarity on opening or financial support. I'm not going to read into that. That just tells you what kind of situation Pattaya is in right now. Permanently closed is bad. That means somebody's going to have to buy them and reopen them. Let's see. Pattaya has a move-on plan. Pattaya Discovery changes their name and much more. That's news on Pattaya. Let me see what else we got here. Lots of arrests are going on in the Chonburi area and around that whole stuff. Pattaya is a ghost town right now. Travel TV, I've heard that. I've kind of seen that a little bit, and it's sad, but very sad. I've seen some pictures from there, and it doesn't look promising at all. It really doesn't. Okay, let's take a look at this. I found one article interesting here. That may be of some help. And this is the move on plan that we were talking about. So if you're a fan of Pattaya, this may be of interest to you. Top local Pattaya stories from the past week is what the Pattaya News is calling this. It says Pattaya move on plan, Pattaya Discovery changes their name, and much more. So the following is the weekly feature, which we highlight top stories from our area, Pattaya and Chonburi for the past week. The number of stories differs from week to week. Talk about how they're chosen, no particular order. Number one, Pattaya Discovery United gets a new owner, new team name. I'm not going to go over that right now. Number two, Pattaya tourist police arrest suspect allegedly involved in visa scam with more than 10 foreign victims. There are a lot of these things going on right now, particularly it seems to be in the Chonburi, Pattaya area where there are a lot of online scams going on. A bunch of fakes doing a whole bunch of fake things. Doesn't look healthy, doesn't look promising. Pattaya City proposing move on plan. When I say it doesn't look helpful, doesn't look promising, I'm talking about the slight surge of crime that we've seen in or that I've seen over the past, I would say 2.5 to 3 months, because people are out of work. They're looking for any way that they can to make money. Pattaya City proposing move on plan to get Pattaya back open to jabbed foreign tourists in October. Will it happen? We will see. However, if it doesn't happen and Pattaya misses a second high season, it will be a major economic hit for nearly everyone in Pattaya. That's all they said about that. And then they got, you guys remember the 32 people arrested in Pattaya for allegedly drinking booze and smoking shisha at a restaurant. There were some domestic tourist problems. Kolarn is staying shut for at least 2 more weeks. Those were just some of the major highlights from the Pattaya news. I had some stuff in here from the Pattaya Mail, which, by the way, the Pattaya Mail is a great source of information. Just in case you guys don't know, they do a really, really, really good job of breaking down information. Let me see if I can find. Okay, here's a what appears to be a little bit of a good news article. Let me catch some comments. Solar Road says, do you cross borders every time you need a visa / extension? Or are there local means and resources? That depends on the visa. Solar Road, it depends on the visa. And right now, you can't really do what we used to refer to as a border run or border bounce, simply because the borders are, you would have to do a 14-day queue to come back in. And to go to another country, you would likely have to do their queue as well. Perhaps if you were fully inoculated, maybe you could bypass some of that. I'm not sure. Would have to wait and see. Let's see. Amid the ongoing Pattaya gloom, new businesses are already springing up everywhere. Already established in Bangkok, a Pattaya branch facing the sea on the Royal Garden Plaza Promenade is currently being prepared for opening. Taco Bell is a fast food chain of restaurants worldwide. Especially, we know what Taco Bell is. Even Pattaya's shuttered walking street is finding new markets. The old weed man is what he's called. Near the entrance, specializes in selling I'm not going to say it, to alleviate illness, although that the smoking is still illegal in Thailand. However, the drug has been legalized for specific purposes under controlled conditions. And what else do we have? A new unit in Pattaya's Terminal 21 is cashing in on the latest public craze for beings from another planet. With the United States military now taking sighting seriously, a new marketing opportunity has arisen. The bendable models are said to reduce stress when handled. So they're selling some bendable models. If you guys can see that right there, that's what they're selling. Exactly, Greg. Exactly. And I won't go into any other details on that. Just have a brief conversation with you here. There are a lot of pieces of information. There are a lot of moving parts to this whole thing that I can't exactly go into because I still live here. So we'll kind of leave it at that for the time being. Charles says, loan sharks and gambling, preying on people looking for a quick fix. Sad. You're 100% right. 100% right. Solo says, I don't eat Taco Bell in America. It's actually, I like Taco Bell in America, but the taste here, we have one not too far from where I live. There's only 3 that I'm aware of in the country so far. I guess that will be number 4, but it's definitely a different taste. It doesn't taste like an American Taco Bell, that's for sure. Travel TV says, got to go, JC, work tomorrow. Okay, brother, you take care, man. Thanks for dropping by. I really appreciate it. And there's really, that's really all the news I have, guys. If you want to talk about something else or I don't believe anybody's throwing out any kind of challenge today, which is fine. But I don't think that's happening. So we don't have to have a lengthy stream. As far as I know, the weekend live streams will be the same as always this weekend, and I will catch you up to date on all the latest news. And then after I find out more about my personal life on Monday, I'll give you guys an update, and hopefully it's good news. Hopefully I don't have to change anything and everything goes the way it's supposed to go. Charles says he's eating Taco Bell now. That's awesome. MedTech says, I like Taco Bell, but I didn't buy a takeaway, so can't buy until dining's open. I don't buy takeaway. Okay, I got you. Greg says, I can't imagine leaving the U.S. and thinking a foreign Taco Bell would be yummy. Yeah, I was optimistic, but I was let down a little bit. Robert has relisted the PayPal link at the bottom down there should any of you wish to make last-minute contributions, which are thoroughly, greatly, tremendously appreciated. We had a PayPal earlier from New York Frank, and I really appreciate him for that. You can do that at any time. It doesn't have to be during the live stream. Right now, that's pretty much my my financial backup plan. You guys told me you have my back, and I believe you. I believe you 100%. And should worst case scenario happen and I have to travel back to America, then I'll be recording video as I go, and it'll be a good thing. It'll definitely be a good thing for sure. Make some interesting content. When I get back to America, I'll still be making content. I'll be making content around my plans to go where I'm going next, research I'm doing, videos in America, what it's like to be back home. I think that'll be exciting content, but we hope it doesn't come to that for sure. Thank you, Matt Tech, for that. I really appreciate that, man. I love you guys, and definitely appreciate it. Steve said something, but then he retracted his message. Lyle says 25 up, 5 down. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. Yeah, make sure you hit your thumbs up on the way out. Filtho says Thailand needs to keep you there, or else you can talk about all the things you can't now because you live there. That's a fair point. But I can't even talk about it then if I want to come back. Charles says praying for the best outcome. I would fight to stay. I am. I definitely am. MedTech, as far as the flight money goes, it's up in the air right now. There are several options. I may be able to get some help from family with that. Don't know exactly yet. Just don't know. There, like I said, uncertainty right now is the name of the game. But as soon as Southeast Asian tourism opens back up, and the main thing is getting these jabs and getting the jabs in people. That's what's going to cause the economies to surge and reopen around Southeast Asia. So I'm going to do my best to stay in Thailand. I can assure you of that. Will I be able to? Don't know. Steve Banfield says, love the Taco Bell after hospital food in Bangkok from sea. Yeah, I bet you. I bet so. After the hospital food, it probably was. I didn't hate the Taco Bell food by any means. It was fine with me. I just it had a different acquired taste. It wasn't the same. It didn't taste like your general Mexican food, which I'm not saying Taco Bell makes authentic Mexican food that tastes like it comes from Mexico, but it seems more authentic to a degree in America than it does here. Just my opinion. Solar Road says, get it. Flight dollars is up in the air. 555. Yeah, there you go. That's right. That's right, Solar Road. Mr. Charles, you take care of yourself, buddy. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Matt Tech says, no prayers. That's religious nonsense. Fair enough. If that's what you believe. No problem. Greg says, the Taco Bells there actually use actual meat. Yeah, they do. They actually use meat. Real meat. So, it's all good. Steve Banfield says, but hospital food is way better in Thailand, though. I can believe that. I've never experienced that. Thankfully, I haven't had to go to the hospital. But I believe you 100%. Greg, you got the soy eye dogs. I don't know what that means, like burning sage. You got to try soy dog. Oh man, wow, come on, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, you guys give this video a thumbs up on your way out. I'd like to thank New York Frank for his $10 contribution and Richard for his super chat. And there was somebody else who left a $2 Solar Road. Thank you for your $2 contribution as well. I appreciate that very much, guys. Every little bit helps, and I'm definitely grateful for all of it. Solar Road says rice and chicken. Oh, it got deleted. Greg says, pretty sure I ate dog in China wasn't bad. I've heard that before. Philthos, that's a good question. I certainly hope not, but you just never know in these days, these strange times we're living in. I don't know. But you guys have been awesome. I love you guys as a family, and I appreciate all of you. Some of you I'll be in touch with shortly and let you know what's on my mind, and you can respond. Try to set up as many things as possible. So you guys, whatever you do today, be sure you do more life. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again if I don't put out a video. Yeah, man, take it. That's cool, man. Everybody's entitled for whatever. That's why I say when I was talking about Jim, that's why I say if you pray, you pray. If you send good, if you just send positive thoughts, send positive thoughts. If you just wish him well, wish him well. I don't have everybody's entitled to be who they are. I have no problem with any of that stuff. That doesn't bother me in any way. And your in your words, hatred of religion doesn't offend me at all. I can't imagine it would offend many people. That certainly not in this chat, for sure. I judge you by the person that you are. So, you've never done anything wrong to me. I don't. Religion's just it's just a thing. It is what it is. To each their own, I say. Nothing but love for you, man. So do more life, guys, and share any videos that you can. Love to see the channel get 30,000 subscribers. It's been a slow crawl, but we'll get there eventually. Right now, it's kind of hard because I'm basically only doing live streams because that's basically all I can do. So with that being said, love all you guys, especially MedTech. No worries here. Law says everyone needs to believe in something. I believe I'll have another beer. I hear you, Law. I hear you, man. Nothing wrong with that either. I don't think because I don't drink that I judge people that do, because I don't. But I guess that's it. I will see you guys this weekend. Everyone take care. Love you, mean it. Appreciate the contributions. Have an awesome day and an awesome rest of the week. Until next time, boys and girls, see ya.